Hey, MeiLin, thanks for bringing Jean here today with you.
Yeah.
She's had a big impact in your life at CrossFit, and you've had a big impact in our life at Grace College Consulting. When you came here to see us, you couldn't talk. And I remember you walking in here and taking little tiny notes with Coach Grace as you started your college search.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember most walking in the store? Were you afraid? Were you excited? What were your feelings?
I was definitely excited, a little bit nervous, just because after my 8th grade year, I had to completely stop school because of some brain injuries. And so I wasn't really sure if I was going to be ready for college and all that. I'd only been working on or involved with my schoolwork for maybe a year or so. So I was really nervous that I'd have the mental capacity to take on college and the whole search process. But
You were taking online courses. You were in homeschool, correct, at that time?
yeah,
And you had already finished your freshman, sophomore, and junior in school, homeschool classes, hadn't you?
in my freshman and sophomore classes I took my junior year, or my freshman, sophomore, and junior classes I took in my junior year. And then my senior year, I kind of just wrapped up some of my junior classes and took all my senior classes.
Wow, you worked hard. You had a big workload.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting you, and on top of that, you were so excited that you had hope that you could actually go to college.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you really felt that when we started working together.
Definitely. I think for the longest time I didn't think I would be able to go to college. I didn't see it being a possibility. I didn't know I was capable of it.
So with the thought of going to college, finally coming to reality, finishing your senior year, what was your next step?
I definitely wanted to look at the colleges or visit them before I just made an actual firm decision. I knew going into it I wanted to be in a Christian school, and I wanted to be on the smaller side, and then somewhere warm.
So did the system that we worked with help you a lot to scout?
Yeah,
schools?
so I knew I wanted to go into a criminal justice or political science major, and so going through what you guys had set up with Naviance, that it had a filter,
Yes.
several ones that I could filter through kind of what I was looking for in my school, and then I eventually was able to narrow it down, and then after researching the schools a little bit more, I got down to 5 schools that I really could see myself at, and then started visiting them and ruling some of them out, and then found one.
How many did you apply for? Well, did actual application.
I think I applied to 5.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was quite a process. What was the most fun in that application process?
Most fun was definitely getting to write out my story over and over. Yeah. And then the worst part was condensing it, but it was really fun to write it out and kind of relive it again.
Yes. I like what you just said about your story, and that was what was exciting for us. And during that time, you were working out at CrossFit here in Wilsonville, Oregon, and met an amazing coach who you brought with you today, Jean. And what about that and how she became part of that team? Because we're all part of your team.
Yeah. So how
long ago, Jean? What do you think?
It is. We're getting close to 2 years now. A year and a half. I don't know. Are you talking about from the very beginning?
Yeah.
Very beginning. I knew her before any of this ever happened.
Okay, maybe not that beginning, but sure.
Well, that's good to know.
So I saw her go from a junior high kid, roaming the church quarters to all of a sudden one day she has sunglasses on, just oh, that's weird. She should probably take those off. And then I didn't realize she had had her concussions. And then the next time I saw her, I felt like she was in a wheelchair.
I know.
And it was just what happened to this amazing athletic child that is now in a wheelchair? And she had yet walked into CrossFit Wilsonville. This was just seeing her at church. And then one day here she came rolling in, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is her. And at that time, I didn't really have anything to do with her story. But it was watching her that, being an athlete myself, I couldn't even imagine going through what she was going through, because if someone said, I'm going to take that softball away from you and you'll never play again, I really don't know what I would have done with life, because it was my release, it was my everything. So just as more of just watching her. And at one point, my father has Parkinson's disease, and he's battled that since I was 13. And so I've seen my father pretty much, it's like the same story in a sense, like from one day, all of a sudden, a year later, you're not walking well, and, your life is changing in front of you. But my dad is a story of never giving up. And I just kind of pulled her aside one day and just said, and this is when she wasn't talking, I don't know why this is happening, but God has a plan for everyone.
Absolutely.
And I truly believe something amazing is going to come through this. And you just need to keep going forward. And that was about it. I mean, it was just that conversation. I just felt like I needed to tell her that. And from there, it was probably a few more months when Janet approached me, her mother, and said, she needs someone to work with her speech. I said, me?
Right.
Someone needs to work with my speech. So we did it. I was more than ready to help her. If that was going to happen, I was excited to do whatever I could to give this kid a chance.
Yeah.
And that's where it started with me at CrossFit Wilsonville.
Well, and it shows in the video. It shows the love you had. And, geez, I get emotional just thinking about it, because you've come so far. And the love of your family, even your little sister Emma, and the coaches have just been amazing to see that you're now going off to college.
Yeah. Oh.
Jane, when you first met MeiLin, and she came to you and she couldn't speak, she was in the wheelchair at the time.
Yeah.
You have really become a really big sister to her in many ways.
Yeah.
And a coach. What was that experience like?
It was amazing for me because I don't have children. And so this was one of those experiences for me to really see what it felt like to help a child. And it started literally with vowels. And I mean, it was like kindergarten. Here we go. We are going to learn how to talk again. And it was a system that we were using that Janet had found through the internet. And it was quiet. I mean, it was simple. And it was like, we had no idea how long it would take. None. And we were determined it didn't matter. That's what we were going to have to do.
Well, and it took a lot for you to walk in this door, had not met Coach Crace and myself, and you couldn't speak. And your mom brought you in, and you sat here, and I can remember you answering him by writing little things on the paper. And then I came in here later, a couple weeks after that, and I walked in and said something, and you turned around and you talked to me. And I started to cry, which I cry often. And just how much progress you made with Jane, and you're willing to work hard, because you could have just been happy with where you're at. So now, what are your anticipations leaving and packing up everything and going to college at Arizona Christian?
That's a loaded question.
That's a loaded question.
Okay.
Well, you're looking forward to it
Well,
because you've had a great fit
yeah.
to visit the school.
I'm really looking forward to it. Just like it being this small school, it'll be like I felt the community when I was there. And I'm really looking forward to that. And then the classes, with it being such a small school, the classes are really, really small. And so if I do run into any problems, like where I don't feel like I'm mentally totally healed or whatever, I know that I can talk to my professors and I don't have to worry about trying to track them down out of hundreds of students.
That's very important.
I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm going to a Christian school, so that's I'm looking forward to having that be like a grounding thing that's always there, not just something that's kind of optional. I want that to be something that is always there for me, even when I may kind of, not be so sure about it or have people around me that are kind of wavering in their faith. So.
You have gone through a lot. This is a big step for you to be going out on your own and into a dorm and planning your future.